Northern New England Rail Authority, referred to as NEPRA, has purchased continuous welded rail from L.B. Foster of Allentown, Pennsylvania. The strings of continuous welded rail are over 1,600 feet long, which is more than a quarter of a mile in length. L.B. Foster transports the rail on its own weld train, which helps expedite deliveries and keeps the Downeaster expansion project on schedule. The main project will require more than 285,000 total feet of welded rail to cover the nearly 30 miles between Portland and Brunswick.
This is a terrific day for all of us. So let's welcome the train. Let's welcome the start of this project. Thank you. This train is a portion of 32 cars. This is a portion of a 32-car train. I know it for a fact because I couldn't get by the crossing over there. And the train contains 50 sticks of rail, each of which is about 1,650 feet. When actually installed, it will comprise approximately 8 miles of the approximately 35 miles of track that we are going to be rehabilitating. It weighs over 3.1 million pounds and costs over $1.5 million. It's a significant achievement. Now, this is the beginning of a process for NEPRA, and it's a process of construction that will employ over 200 people over a 2-year time span. So that's a very significant achievement to our very small state. It will, when constructed, provide for connectivity, mobility, and economic development for this part of the state, and it already has proven to be a spur to economic development in this station, and thanks to Mike Lynn. Mike Lynn had the confidence to invest in this station without a train and without even the promise of a train, but I think that will spur economic development here in Brunswick, and as it already has, and you'll not only be able to eat here, but you'll also be able to drink here and ride trains here. So the expansion of service to Brunswick was a project that was on our drawing board, on NEPRA's drawing board from the earliest stage, and we viewed that as a very significant effort. And so for the last 10 years, we've been all marshaling our forces to get here. We only had one small problem. It's called the money. We couldn't figure out a way to pull together $38 million. We did everything. We held bake sales, I can't tell you how many things I did. At every board meeting, we had to dip into our wallets and contribute. And so after we amassed the large sum of $750, we figured out there's got to be a better way to do this. And so what we did is we worked very, very closely with the governor. I can't tell you how great the governor has been as a spur to our thinking. But there is one person who is more optimistic than I am, and that's our governor. So it's his vision, really, that really caused us to move forward and get together a shovel-ready project. We were ready. We submitted an application, and in January of this year, we were awarded the project. We will show that this will be the model of success. In fact, it's probably the first construction project for the Federal Railroad Administration under the high-speed rail project. And just as the Downeaster has been a model of success to show how an efficient, effective railroad can operate in this country, so too will our construction project be that.
The rail workers are preparing to remove one of the strings of welded rail from the L.B. Foster weld train. It takes 32 cars to haul the quarter-of-a-mile-long continuous welded rail. Most of the old rail has been in place for more than 80 years. The new welded rail will be quieter because there are no joints between rails to make the clickety-clack sound we have all been used to. An anchor is wedged into place and a chain is connected to the end of one of the strings of rail. Each individual string of rail weighs more than 63,000 pounds. After the ceremony, when the train moves forward, the rail will slide off the weld train and lay along the side of the tracks. It will be installed later. To complete the project, other supplies will be required. 35,000 ties will be replaced, using about 170,000 tie plates, 500,000 track spikes, 300,000 rail anchors, and nearly 84 million pounds of stone ballast. The ceremonial kickoff event features railroad and government officials.
The issues confronting us are in energy and transportation. And both of those are huge issues for business, industry, and economic development. Because if we can't afford to be able to get our goods to market, we won't become as consequential in those marketplaces. And the two big things with people is energy costs and transportation costs. We have the train, we had the beginnings of the train, we needed to expand it much more than what it is being expanded. Today is a huge milestone. With this milestone here in Brunswick and Freeport, we're going to go on to Rockland. We're going to go on to Augusta. We need to go further. We're going to go into Western Maine, and Lewiston, Auburn, and out through Western Maine. Because not only for passengers, but also for freight. When you think about the cars and trucks on the roads, the congestion, the pollution that's on the road, the waste of energy and lack of efficiency because of the need for truck transportation, because we don't have enough adequate, efficient rail support. This is the road that we need to travel, and we're doing it today, and it's a huge step forward, but a lot more steps need to be taken. You're opening up this Brunswick market, the new ability to attract economic development with the base and the redevelopment of the base. This is just another step in Brunswick's crown, in this region's ability to attract, and it will attract. You've just got too many good people, too many well-educated and trained people here, and too much opportunities here for that not to happen. But I really want to appreciate the Finks and their cooperation and being able to work together, because we have been able to do more, and we need to do an awful lot more into the future. It's hugely important not only for this region, but for the entire state of Maine. And to all of you who made this happen today, this is showing them with determination. And Wayne, for the train riders and all of the people that work together throughout the state of Maine to hold people accountable and their feet to the fire, this is a day for them to believe that it can happen. It can happen here in Maine, and this is just the beginning of some other great opportunities. So congratulations to all of you. It's a big day in the state of Maine. Congratulations.
Recognized Wayne Davis, but you don't move forward in politics if you don't have advocates. And sometimes we agree with advocates and sometimes we don't, but the fact is, without people with passion and belief who are steadfast in that, and Wayne and I are true believers on the same side, and really having a membership-based organization that was out there and telling us we had to do this for decades has been critically important. And the last thing I want to say is, One of the reasons I'm excited to be here today is because this is good for the economy and it's good for the culture and romance about Maine. We've talked about the fact that we have 200 jobs that will be created with the rail system, and I'm very excited to see the hardworking people who are going to be actually laying this rail for us, and we'll have a demonstration, I know, of that today. So thank you to all of you. We're going to do the actual work to make this possible. There will be jobs created because of this economic development here, and I think up and down the rail line, we're going to continue to see economic development. The people who can live in Maine because they can commute to other places. We've seen that in the southern part of the coast, and I know we're going to see it when it gets all the way up to Rockland. And I just want to say about the culture. You know, sometimes in Maine we say, oh, you know, that's a bygone era. We don't do that anymore. We don't have small farmers. We don't have trains. We don't have sailboats. But let's remember, we're a tourism state. We're a state where people to choose to live and raise their families because it is such a wonderful culture. And this is exactly the reason they want to come. They want to ride the train, stop in Freeport, stop in Brunswick. They want to take a train to get back to work in Boston. They want to come up. They want to visit their kids at Bowdoin. And I've seen Barry Mills, and last time we were here, we talked about the fact that in the old days, you got on the train to get to Bowdoin. And today students will be able to go visit their friends in Boston, come back and not have to drive under whatever condition. And it'll be, you know, it just adds to our culture. I'm from the Rockland area, and I can't tell you how many old timers have told me stories of the days when you took the train from Boston, you got on the steamship, you got to all the island communities, and that's, as we say, the way life should be in Maine. So thank you for everyone's hard work. Thank you for letting me be a part of this today.
This is a good news story here today. He's worked tirelessly to make this happen. We sat in his office 6 years ago, and there was a time when the Democrat National Convention was in Boston. They were not going to allow Amtrak trains to run in, and the governor said, is there a way we can get a train to Brunswick? The other David Fink says, sure, John, we can make that happen, and we made it happen. But we got to Brunswick, and we sat down in his office, and he said, I want to make this work. And when you think back to that time, there was a famous speech made by the man that now sits in the White House that 6 years ago was made in Boston. And it was the same time we rode that train to Brunswick. So that's when it all happened. The partnership, I mean, it is true. The partnership we have with the governor is unwavering. He understands us, we understand him. The folks at NEPRA, Patricia, and the governor are the reason why we're here today. They put it all together and made it happen, and no doubt about it, the FRA Administrator, Joe Szabo. I rarely am on the podium with another fifth-generation railroader. I proudly stand here today with Joe. We're kind of like army brats. If you've been in the railroad business, that's kind of what your life is. That's kind of what holidays are all about, arguments about what happened, this and that, and who did what to who, and who's on what board, that type of thing. So we're lucky we have an administrator that understands what needs to happen. He came up here in April. We ran him through the ringer and showed him what we would do, and we promised him this. We, Pan Am, promised him this. We will deliver a project like we delivered NEPRA 1 and the other projects that will be on budget and on time and done with our labor. A lot of Maine labor and a lot of people that are here today will make that happen. Okay, I thank you very much, and I'd like to ask the governor to come up, and if he will say a few simple words, we can kind of get the rail train show on the road.
Joe, get up here.
Okay.
I'm ready to get up
All
here.
right.
We're going to say
Okay.
this as a group. And our
All right.
congressional delegate, everybody here stand up.
It's a big letter, so.
Yeah, okay. All right, everybody say engine 516, okay, to go ahead. Congratulations. All right.
As the L.B. Foster well train moves ahead, the rail is pulled off the cars and onto the ground beside the rails.
Out in the woods, it's a big campus around Togus. It's got a lot of woods. And he was in the woods shooting at nothing. So that the police would come and shoot him. That's what he was after.
Did they?
Yeah, they killed him. I mean, it's too bad, but
As part of the ceremony, a tire replacement demonstration was staged with specialized equipment. The first step in tie replacement is the removal of the spikes from the old track. Some of the ties have been marked with orange paint as the ties to be replaced. New ties are placed near the location of the ties to be removed. The demonstration exhibits the efficiency with which a few men and machines can get a lot of work done in a short amount of time. The tie replacement machine is fascinating to watch as the old tie is taken out and the new tie is put in. Part of the ingenuity of this piece of equipment is that it can pick up the rail enough to get the old tie out. Dignitaries climb into the tie replacement machine for their photo opportunity. Other workers clean the ballast off the new ties so that the next phase can be accomplished. This device picks up the track and allows the workers to put tie plates between the rail and the tie. The tie plate prevents the rail from digging into the wooden tie. The ties will last longer that way. The next step is to spike the rail and the tie plates to the tie. Although it is not shown in this demonstration, another piece of equipment will pick up the old ties and another machine will tamp the ballast. The Pan Am executive train has been waiting up the track for the demonstration to be completed.
It's a blue one.
The newly painted FP9s are a pair of ex-Canadian National units nicknamed the Sisters. They have been running on the Conway Scenic Railroad since 1995. In March of 2010, Pan Am Railways traded a GP35 and a GP38 for the Sisters. In the dark blue paint scheme, they look great. Coach ST-101 was formerly owned by the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad and was named Champlain. ST-100 is referred to as a heavyweight end coach, which once worked on the Norfolk and Western Railroad. The Pan Am executives and government officials will ride the train. This has been an exciting day for rail enthusiasts and everyone interested in reducing pollution by getting more cars off the road. The executive train moves around the Weld train on its way to Freeport and Portland. We hope you have enjoyed this unusual train time show. Thank you for watching.